Well, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope that's it.
Okay.
I'm not doing this because I want to sit in people's houses, you know. So.
All right, everyone. This is Tim Souza with Real Estate en Route, and I'm very excited to be here today with Adam Koven.
Yes,
is that correct?
that's
yes,
right.
That's right. And so, Adam, please tell us, who are you with, and how long have you been in real estate?
Okay, well, I'm with Royal LePage Pro Alliance. So we are a brokerage that extends from north up into Tweed, over past Belleville and into Brockville. But I'm here situated in beautiful Kingston, Ontario.
Kingston, Ontario. Nice. And how long have you been doing real estate in Kingston?
It's almost 6 years. You know, when I was in my 20s, I was buying it. And I loved working with my realtor, and I loved his job. And then I wanted to do his job, and then I started doing his job. And he would say, Adam, you can't do that. I said, did we get it? He said, yeah, we bought it. I said, then I think we did our job. He said, you know what, I'm going to stop. I'll let you do the negotiating.
You do the thing.
And so in between, I sold everything. I had my family businesses. We sold packaged ice, bulk fuel, oil. So I always joked I can sell oil in the summer and I can sell ice in the winter. I could sell real estate because everyone actually wants that. But when I first got into it, I thought, what am I doing? You know, I kept the companies, but I really wanted to do something different. And no one ever hugged me for selling them a mega of oil. But one of my first sales, they're like, you got to come to our wedding. I'm like, what? And then another one says, Adam, we're pregnant. I'm like, how are your parents? Oh, we're calling them next. I'm like, oh my God, like this is, you know, you get to actually be, you know, you get to be someone very special if you let yourself be in people's lives. If you're having fun, you know, if you legitimately love what you're doing,
Right.
and if you listen to your people. And then the next one is a warning. Be careful, because when you connect and you hit it, you're needed. When you're not there, you're missed. You know, if you got an okay agent, you don't expect that he or she are going to call you, or that they're going to find a special place, or they're going to remember that you like Gouda. You know, we know you're so busy. We know you got 50 accounts, but it's the same thing. You're the most important person. And if you really honestly feel it and you can honestly be it, then you do have this relationship. And then it is important, and you're in, and you're connected. And then, you know what, you'll buy, you'll sell, whatever. But at the same time, you've met a great soul, or a great family, a great couple, and you get to be part of their lives. You know,
That's cool.
When you go knock on the door because you want to sleep over, you know, it doesn't always work.
Fair enough. And then what part of the Kingston market do you sell homes?
Sure. So the Kingston market, like a lot like the, you know, most of Southeastern Ontario, we have a very low inventory. We have, as a result of that, sales are marginally lower, and they're not proportionally lower. So we still have a good buying base, and people are. Look, we all check our economics. We look at our supply demand curve. Our supply is down. Our demand is, you know, almost flat still. Prices are going to increase, and then we have competition. And we are seeing appreciation. So it's not like it's not all of these things rolled into one, but every factor, perfect storm, everything's going up in value. People are seeing that our waterfront is starting to be more valuable because you start to relate to the Muskokas in Toronto. So
this is becoming comparable to those spaces.
It's elasticity is how I look at it, right? And again, my economics prof would be so
proud of you right now. Yeah, exactly.
If you hadn't kicked me out. But so when I look at that, you know, we're seeing the Toronto market drive forward, and why? Well, it's a surrounding of great communities. So look, everyone's got great homes. This is great waterfront.
It's a beautiful space.
And everyone's going to come in here and say, oh, if this was in Mississauga, if this was in Toronto. Well, it's not. It's in Kingston. And I still think it's a bargain for what it is.
Right.
You're getting the same quality construction. You know, a slate roof in Kingston is no more difficult than a slate roof in Toronto, or no more worth less or more.
Right. It's still a slate roof.
It's still a slate roof. 100 feet of waterfront on Lake Ontario. There's 100 feet of waterfront on Lake Ontario. I understand scarcity, all of the things, unique properties, collectible properties. Right. But at the end of the day, Kingston's got a great solid foundation, great healthcare, great education. The tertiary care center allows us to have doctors that we shouldn't have for research, and all of the things that we need for our cardiac clinics, our cancer clinics. We're lucky, we're well looked after. So Kingston has all those makings, and it has reasonably affordable housing. I say that, and I sell luxury properties, and which is true, you know, and it happened that way just because, you know, I'm not a younger agent, in case you didn't notice. So I have a base of friends and contacts that are going to be more established at a different curve in their life. You know, the connectivity into Kingston came very organically. The stuff that I did to promote my name and brand was nothing about real estate, but has done everything for me for real estate, I have to admit. I have a team of younger and maybe more outgoing. And so they have the same authority I do, that whether you're doing a $200,000-$400,000 transaction or a $2-3-4 million transaction, the key point is that everyone gets the same treatment. When we list that property, it gets the same collaterals. When we talk to that person, it's with the same respect. And when we make the deal, it better be with the same excitement, and zest.
And having fun.
It's got to be fun.
It's got to be fun. I think all of our conversations that we've had so far, I've just seen fun radiate in all the things that you do.
Yeah, who do we meet? We met probably 12 groups today.
Right. Neighborhood
people. This one says, come see my house, I want to sell it. And I like your house, I think I want to buy it. Well, that's exciting.
Right.
We might get paid today. But ultimately we met some pretty interesting people, and I'm actually curious to learn more about them. And they have had a circle of friends I have nothing to do with it, which is odd. So, I do love this business, and if you take it into your heart and soul, you're going to do well with it. As long, if you do something for money, that's a harder conversation. But if you love what you're doing, and I know it's a cliche, if you love your job, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
It's true. And I used to think it was such BS, and I hear that all the time. And I hated my job, but I loved working with my father. So that was the balance.
It was a balance.
Yeah.
Right?
So then, my father passed away, and I was like, what am I doing here? And if you have great people, and the same thing with real estate. I think I said this to you earlier. I said the best thing you can tell yourself and remind yourself is that you don't know anything, or at least that there's somebody that knows more than you.
Right. So talk to me about the team. You were explaining to me how you built your team with that mentality.
Sure. So what do I know on demand? I can Twitter. I can do a Twitter feed. I can do a story. But I'm not an expert. Like, how do I understand my algorithm? So there are men and women out there that are much smarter than me. Find them, employ them, pay them what they're worth.
And that's how you leverage technology in your business. Yeah.
So now it's like, oh, he must be brilliant. He's not. He has very, very smart people who are dedicated to the cause, who are all driving for that one important factor, which is to make me look good, and to sell property, and to make sure that we have our systems in place.
Interesting. So, when it comes to this home, tell me about this.
This home it's a classic example. Look, this home is worth the money. And not being a salesperson.
So, how many rooms? Give me some basic stats, and then.
So we're 3,000 plus square feet, 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. 3 of those bathrooms are en suites. So you got a massive ensuite, then a main floor ensuite mini master. I'm calling it upstairs mini master. Then you've got a gymnasium. Downstairs is a 1-bedroom with another kitchen. But the engineering that went into this, because he is an engineer, limestone archways, which is we're the limestone city. So what more could you ask for?
Right. Floating
slate roof, $100,000 roof, on waterfront with a boom, with a sunken infinity pool, Trex deck, so there's no maintenance. Like it's all done. So what goes on with these? It's like anything else. There's a buyer pool.
Right.
Rolex makes a $5,000 watch. There's a bunch of us that can buy it. And then we get a $50,000. They make maybe like $100,000. That $500,000 watch, there's 10. And then that $10 million one, which is called the Kanye, they sell one. But it's the same thing. We've got a buyer pool here where when you get to a certain threshold and over the $1 million mark in Kingston, or $1.5 million for waterfront, you start to hit a threshold. We've had offers on the property. We've had a successful offer where unfortunately fell apart with very little knowledge to us. So we sell it once, we'll sell it again.
Right.
If you're selling it and you believe it's worth it and you can prove its value beyond cost, it sells. And that's all it is. With this one, it's really we decided to have an open house. We don't usually do open houses on high profile homes, luxury homes.
Right.
Hugely successful today. I've been asked to take a look at another home after, and the possibility of actually writing an offer for it. So maybe it is good to do an open house here. I'm finding that the luxury market in Kingston is insulated from this up and down that we're seeing in the average home market.
Is it? Okay, so it's kind of, is inventory is rather stable then, or like what do you say it's insulated? Like what are you seeing in the rest of the market versus what are you seeing in luxury?
The same reason why when somebody says, well, my market went up 10%, why am I not $1.1 million instead of $1 million? That luxury market doesn't really follow the trend of supply and demand that we're seeing. So when we say demand is or supply is down 10%, we're usually looking at the higher volume item, like the $300,000 to $400,000 home.
Okay.
So that's the fluctuation. So if our sales are down 2% and we're up 10% in price. We're basing that on the average price. Kingston last year was about 382,000. That was just over 400,000 for average price.
Mm-hmm.
But because it went up that 5% to 10%, it's not happening in the luxury. What I'm seeing on the luxury market is the inventory is low. So we're still being hit with a supply demand. If it goes on and it is priced right and it is finished perfectly, I would say when you want perfect price, you better have perfect a perfect product.
Okay.
We're seeing fights. I've never seen multiple offers on 1.8 million properties, and I just witnessed it twice this year already. So I'm looking at luxury waterfront teardowns, multiple offers. I'm looking at premium lots, on fixer-uppers, that should be 800,000-900,000 go list for $1 million and sell for $1.2 million, 20% over ask. Wow. So that's all luxury. I've never seen the competition in the luxury market. That doesn't mean that we have too much luxury. It doesn't mean that we're this bargain. I think that the luxury market is a case-by-case basis. If you're new to the market and you've hit it right, great. If you hit it wrong and your price too high, you may sit. You may even have to reduce your price further.
What would you recommend to people who are trying to get into the luxury market? Who are like, have finally reached that space in life where like, yeah, okay, I want to buy this waterfront property in Kingston. What would you recommend?
So for buyers into the luxury market, get your comparables, look and see what's happened. So, I'll give you this one for instance. So is this a good buy? Well, I'll show you a similar home with different finishings across the street non-waterfront that was sold for a similar price. I can show you, just down the street, another home that was sold for a similar price to this, had a little bit less. So your real estate agent should be able to show that value to you. Again, what's the value versus price? Ask the question, what are we building for? Maybe we could buy a building lot. Maybe your home isn't to be so ostentatious that you need 3,000 square feet. Maybe this is the final retirement home, 1,600 square foot bungalow, finished basement. We could build it for $500,000. So maybe $1 million lot in the house that you want is the way to go. So use your agents. If they can do the research for you, they're probably worth their weight. Look at their portfolio. Are they used to selling luxury property? Do they have a knack for that market? Do they have a handle on that market? Or is this sort of like the one big property that they have and they're trying to make sure they gotta sell it versus somebody who has an inventory of large luxury property and has kind of a pulse on the marketplace.
And then what might you tell people who are looking to sell so that they have a luxury property?
Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Look, every person loves their house, and that's why they're in it. And every person believes that their house is maybe sometimes worth more than it is. I don't believe that that's the full lengths to it. That that they're wrong, you're right. They're right. If you believe it's worth it, then make sure you have it in a sense prepared for the type of listing that you want to see. So if you walked in the door, I immediately walk through the house and I look for the things that maybe I would say, well, I got a problem there. That's going to cost money. Is there a water stain on the ceiling? Yeah, but we replaced the roof, Adam. I understand that. Right. Paint the ceiling then. If we have nothing to hide, then we really have nothing to show. You can certainly tell, and you have to disclose there was a roof leak. We put on a $100,000 roof, end of story. But if I'm just looking up at this big yellow mark.
Right, you can just see a spot, you're going to be like, I don't know this house.
Look for the things that would upset you, because if it's upsetting you and it has been upsetting you, the problem is you've been looking at that stain for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years since you got in. But we just want to make sure that everything's finished. Because if I'm spending top dollar for a property, everything should be done. And I mean right down to the light switches should match, that if there's a broken plug, if there's just... Make sure detail matters. Every detail matters, and make sure you're ready for market. You should find a good Kingston agent that fits with your.
You should interview some agents, right? Because excellence will stand out.
Excellence will totally stand out, and let them know that they're in competition. Nothing's better than making people realize that they're competing for business, as we should. That they got to be on their best behavior and bigger their best collateral, so that you can see what they operate with.
Absolutely. So Adam's information will be down below. Feel free to call him and tell him that he's in competition, and let's reach out to him. That's good. Okay, what's next? Yeah.
So I want to dance. No, what's next is I think what's next is it's expansion. And how to do it. And
doing it well and loving people in the same way.
And it's doing it in a sophistication that is very different. So. What somebody would expect in Kingston is going to be different in Toronto.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be sort of a dipping the toe into a new market in the upcoming years.
Cool. Well, best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was great getting to know you.
Yeah, great to meet you too.
And I guess we will see all of you in the next episode.
Yes.
I will see you come Belleville, and this is kind of wrapping up Kingston. So Adam, this is Adam, and if you are interested in kind of the luxury market in Kingston, he's going to be your guy, or at least one of them. Be sure to tell him that he's got competition, and then interview some other people just to give him a run for his money. But his information is down here below.
You don't have to have competition.
Yeah, but if you reach out to Adam, you can take a look at some of his properties. His website is amazing. He just
go to adamkoven.com. You'll get all of our assets there, and that'll also give you a way into the Kingston market. But that'll also show you an example of the systems that we're starting to put in place when you get on there. It grabs you and starts to ask you questions, and then it won't leave you till the day you die.
Watch out, he's after you. No, just kidding. But no, look at the technology, because honestly, a lot of what Adam's working on is kind of pushing forward tech in real estate. And so he's grabbing people from outside of real estate and bringing them in, and I think it's brilliant. So take a look at what he's doing, and the link is down below. And we will see you guys in our next town.